What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Start With Today podcast. My name is Jeff Shafer, and I'm so excited that you decided to tune in today. For those of you who don't know, Start With Today was founded upon the idea that we can't go back and change our past. We can't look forward into the future and predict exactly what's to come and know every single step that we'll face along the way. But what we can do is take each day as a gift, enjoy the people God's placed in our lives, enjoy every moment, and most of all, take advantage of every opportunity He gives us. I can't wait to dive into today's episode. I hope it speaks to you, I hope it encourages you, and I hope you'll join us next week. So with that being said, let's jump in and let's start with today. Welcome to episode 1, hopefully of many, of the Start With Today podcast. I can't tell you how much it means that you decided to tune in and listen today or later this week, whenever you're listening. It truly does mean a lot to me. This is something that's kind of out of my comfort zone. I'm not one to go public with creative endeavors or whatever you want to call this. So it means the world. You know, when I put the first post out on Instagram and Facebook, I had some comments and messages that, you know, from people who I wouldn't expect to get them from. I got a message from somebody just saying, you know, hey, keep up the work, man, you're doing great things. From somebody who I just, you know, we're cool, but I haven't talked in a while. And to get something like that, it really means the world. And it's just kind of that encouragement I needed, because I know on the flip side, there's people who are laughing at me and think this is silly, but honestly, this isn't about any of that. To me, this is an opportunity for me to give some positivity and hope and encouragement to people, not just in this season of life, but just hopefully on a weekly basis. And not just myself, you know, I'm going to have friends and family and some mentors and some people who I just think are super cool, positive people, who are going to come on and share their hearts as well. So I'm really excited and just wanted to take a sec to thank you from the bottom of my heart, for giving this a shot. There's a couple other people I want to thank. First off, I want to thank Marcus and Chelsea McFalling, the founders of Reach One Inc., for donating the equipment to me. I had a vision and kind of submitted it to them, and they believed in me, and poured into me and donated this equipment. So I was able to finally push this thing out. So I'm very, very grateful for them. And you guys need to check out the work they're doing at Reach One. It's incredible. They're wonderful people of God. They're doing good work in the community. And they're just some very truly down to earth people. So please check out their work, at Reach One Inc. on Instagram. I also want to thank Ivy Beam for doing the graphic, the logo, the cover art you see here. She does some amazing graphic design work and has a true eye for photography and videography and just graphics as a whole. So big shout out to her. And the intro music you heard was also produced by my buddy Casey Scroggins. So big shout out to him for doing that. I appreciate it. I've been blessed to have some amazing people in my life, and I'm truly grateful for just being able to reach out to people and ask them for something, and they do it. So it's been a blessing, and truly, truly thankful for you guys. So thank you so much. I want to talk a little bit about the podcast and explain it before I dive into the content that I want to discuss today. So the podcast, Start With Today. If you had a chance to read my posts on social media, I quoted a verse from Matthew 6. It's verse 34, and it says, "So don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today." And that verse has really stuck with me, especially just in this past year of my life. Because I think we spend so much time, especially young adults and even just adults, we spend so much time worrying about things to come and the uncertainty. And I think in this season we're in now, that's been a bigger issue than ever. But on the flip side of that, we spend a lot of time wishing we would have done things differently, regretting things we've done, you know, and wishing things were different. And that's completely out of our control. And so I think when we take a look at God's word and, you know, it says, don't worry about tomorrow because today will bring its own worries. That really resonates, and I think especially in the season we're in now. But on the flip side of that, I don't think it's just worries. I think each day brings its own opportunities, its own lessons, its own experiences. And so that's part of the reason I stuck with this name, is because it's not going to limit what we can discuss on this podcast. So, you know, today is going to be more of an encouragement message with a little bit of scripture. You know, I plan on having my buddy Kevin Zuppi on, who's a YouTube creator and somebody I've known for quite a few years, and we're going to talk about what that looks like. I plan on doing an episode just about music. I plan on having Marcus and Chelsea on to talk about what they're doing. And so, you know, Start With Today is really not targeted at a specific subject. It's targeted at taking each day, by itself as a blessing, and looking at the different components and the things that are part of a day and the things that may come up, the things you like to do. And so I'm really excited to just share my heart and share the hearts of, my friends, my family, and mentors and people who mean the world to me, to be able to come on here and share their hearts with you guys. So I'm really looking forward to that. Another reason I stuck with Start With Today is because I think that, we kind of, like I touched on earlier, we spend so much time worrying and regretting that I think we miss what's right in front of us sometimes. And I'm guilty of that as well. And the season that we're in now has really made me realize what's important. And that's the people, the community, and the moments that we have each and every day with the people that God's placed in our lives. And I think that's so important. And so, Start With Today to me is also just taking each day and just being grateful and making the most of it and not worrying about anything else. And I think that's really important. So that's a little bit of the background on the name. As far as why now, well, first off, obviously I moved home, and Chelsea and Marcus were, amazing and donated this stuff to me. But part of the reason it got brought up was I talked to Marcus one day when I was home, and I was talking about how, when I was down in Columbus at Ohio State, there's a church I'm really involved in down there called One Church, and they do great work. And I was involved in their young adult group and their youth ministry. And I really started to enjoy, like I said, public speaking. Although it was kind of out of my comfort zone, I loved leading, I loved speaking. And so I was actually getting ready to start speaking in youth again after I'd come back from spring break. And obviously that opportunity was taken away because of this virus. And so when I was talking to Marcus, I said, yeah, it's one of the, weirdest things about moving home was I missed that a lot. I miss being able to share my heart and communicate with people. And he said, well, why don't you do it now? He goes, you have a social media, you have people that follow you, why not use that? And he was right. And so I told him, I was like, yeah, I really want to start a podcast. And he goes, okay, well, why not now? You got nothing but time. And that really stuck with me. Now they're as nervous as I am. And, as much as this is something that is out of my comfort zone, there's no better time than now. I have the time to put into it. I've had 2.5 weeks to prep and get all the artwork done and get the account set up so I can push this out on different platforms. And I'm super grateful for Marcus just speaking that word to me and helping me, kind of push me to just do it and hold me accountable as well. So that's kind of why I've started this now. And so transitioning into kind of what I want to discuss today, this season we find ourselves in, of social distancing, of sheltering in place, 6 feet apart and all that stuff, to me, I think has been really different because it's forced us to change our entire way of life. It's forced us to sacrifice things. It's forced us to go about our day-to-day differently. But what I want to talk about today is being present when we're supposed to be distant. And what I mean by being present is, just being intimate in every single moment we experience each day, whether it's with people, whether it's with ourselves, whatever it may be, is truly just being present and enjoying the day. So I want to start with a definition, or a couple definitions, to kind of give us a starting point. So to be present means to exist or occur now. So obviously the present is now, and to to be in that moment. And that's literally the definition of present, is to be now. And another component of that is in a particular place, which I find ironic because most of us are sheltered in place, or we're in the same place, we're in our homes. And so I think now is this opportunity that we can be so present in our homes with the people that mean the most to us, our family, or if you have close friends that live with you, whatever that may be, you have an opportunity, we all have an opportunity to build those connections, to continue to grow those relationships, and even to mend those relationships that, might not have been so great before. And being present far exceeds just the people in your house. We are so blessed that we have all this technology. And I don't know about you guys out there, but I spend a lot of time on my phone each and every day, usually scrolling through social media. What I've been trying to do now is using that time, instead of scrolling, to communicate or to connect, calling somebody, FaceTiming them, texting them, whatever it may be. I have grandparents who live, a decent amount away, and unfortunately, because they're older and they're more susceptible to this virus, I'm unable to go over there and see them right now. And so that doesn't mean that I can't be present still, that I can't be present in their lives. So we talk on the phone or we FaceTime, and, I'll send him pictures of what's going on each and every day. And so I've really tried to, take advantage of this season. So I want to give a little bit of background to why I have that mindset, a personal story. And for those of you who know me, you've heard this story a million times, and I'm really sorry. For those of you who don't, I'll give you a brief story. In December of 2018, my mom and stepdad moved to Fort Myers, Florida to do mission work. For those of you who know me, you know how close my mom and I are. I mean, this is corny, but it's the truth. She's my best friend. I love her to death. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be where I'm at. There's a lot of things I wouldn't have been able to get through if it was not for her. And so when they moved, I had to really adjust to, not being able to physically be present with somebody each and every day that I had learned and come to depend on. And that was really hard for me. And so fast forward to this past spring, on spring break, my roommate and I were down visiting my mom in Fort Myers and just enjoying time together, enjoying the weather, obviously. But for me, I just love seeing my mom because I don't get to see her all the time now, which has been a huge adjustment. And so when we were down there, we get the email from Ohio State that campus is going to be shut down for the rest of the semester and everything's going to be virtual learning and we're going online. And to me, that was a huge just gut punch. I've had a lot of change in my life the past 2 years, and if it wasn't for my relationship with God, I truly don't know where I'd be, because that's the only thing that I've been able to truly rely on recently as far as just knowing that stuff's going to be okay and work itself out. And so when I found out I was going to have to move back home, there was a lot of worry. There was a lot of anxiety. And obviously a lot of uncertainty because I didn't know what that was going to look like for me. I'd been in the process of pursuing internships and was really just settled down at school. I have an awesome group of friends down there. I love being with my roommate. Isaac's like a brother to me, and I'm going to have him on at one point because he's just a mighty man of God, and he's an awesome dude. And I know he would love to share his heart, but he's just somebody that means the world to me. And so obviously just not being able to see him every day, being thrown out of my routine, having to move back home, it was a kind of just a lot for me to kind of juggle at once. And so I flew home from Florida that night, drove down to Columbus, woke up the next morning. I was moving out of my dorm by 8:30 in the morning, and then back home that night. And it was just quick. It was really quick. It was crazy to me how fast it went from, okay, we're at the beach in the sun, to back to Ohio. Okay, now you're moved in back home. And it was just a lot. And I'm not going to lie, the first few days were really tough for me. I struggled. Not because I was like sad to be home, but it was just like I felt like so much had been taken away and I'd been forced into this situation that I otherwise probably wouldn't have chosen, just because I love being in Columbus. I love my friends down there. And then I kind of sat back and realized, okay, you know what? God has a plan, and this is happening for a reason. And my mindset began to change because I realized that, I would be able to spend more time with my family. And for those of you who don't know, I have two sisters, one of which, actually, it's her 17th birthday today. And so I kind of began to realize, wait, I can spend more time with them. I haven't been able to see them near as much while I've been gone. I haven't been able to be a part of their lives. And now I'm able to be here and spend time with them and go have fun with them and just conversate and be an influence on their lives physically rather than, through the phone or through text, whatever it may be. And so that was really when my mindset began to change. And on top of that, I realized that, man, it was really tough for me not being able to see my friends, the boys that I'd hung out with in high school, and honestly, they're family to me, and not being able to see them. And it's funny, now we've gotten in this routine where we all get on Xbox and play together every night and just all talk. And that sounds so nerdy, but it's been cool for us to be able to get on and just all talk. And it feels like we're in high school again, just all being in the same place at once. And it's been really cool. And so what I've been trying to do at this point, and this is my encouragement to you guys, is use this season to grow and develop your relationships. Obviously, I'm going to advocate to, pursue and grow deeper your relationship with God. If your faith is as important to you as it is to me, that's something that I think now's the best time to do that. You have nothing but time and truly can just lean into God and spend time in His Word and in prayer. And that's something that I think is really important. And if that's not your thing, that's okay. I'm not here to push that on you. But pursue your relationships with your family, even your distant family or your friends who, like I said, you may not be able to see, but we have things like FaceTime and Zoom and obviously cell phones and text messaging where you never realize what one message or one call can do. And like I said earlier, some of the comments and the messages I got when I announced that I was going to be doing this podcast, as nervous as I was, some of those comments meant the world to me. And I reached out to those people. And if you're listening, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. That meant the world to me. But you never know, especially in this season of just isolation, what one message or one phone call can do to somebody's day. And just to let them know you're here. I think one of the things is like we want to be like, oh, hi, how are you? Well, most of us aren't great because we haven't been able to do anything. But just letting people know, hey, I'm here for you, or if I can help you. I mean, this is a season to be generous. If you have more than you need, or if you've been blessed and, have an abundance of whether it's financial resources or toilet paper, bless somebody, man. Help them out. Because not everybody's as fortunate. And I think this is a season where we truly can just be there for each other, because man wasn't created by God to do life alone. We were meant to do it in community. And I think that's something that we can really take advantage of, even while we're supposed to be distant, is using our resources to help out one another. And I think that's something that's so great about this season. And I think once this virus is gone and over with, like it will be eventually, whenever that may be, who knows, but we're going to realize how important the moments we spend with people are in community. The memories we make, the fun we have, the tears we shed, the laughs we share. We're going to realize how important those moments are when we're all able to gather again. And I think that's going to be such a special moment in our history and something that we'll always carry with us. And I think we're all going to grow and be better because of this. And I don't think we're ever going to see something like this again in our lifetime. I pray that we don't. And it's very unlikely. So take advantage of this season. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity to truly be a blessing in your household, to, pay back your parents with your help, even if it's just your emotional support, just help and to be able to help people who need it and continue to build those connections. This is that season. This is the perfect time to do so and take advantage of it. Like I said, if you have broken relationships, now's the time to fix them. And I think that this is such a special time. And I can't wait to hear all the stories from friends and families of how this has changed people's lives. So I think in closing, I just want to say and remind you that, right now, you may feel isolated. You may feel like you can't do anything, but honestly, it's the complete opposite. You have a better opportunity now than ever to make a difference in people's lives, to be present in people's lives, to continue to grow those intimate relationships with your family and friends who mean the most. We have the technology and we have the time, so there is no excuse. And that sounds so corny, but I mean it. As I've realized, in the past couple years of my life, and now it's kind of all come together in this season, that people and the people that mean the most to you, you're not always going to get these moments with them. At some point, you're not going to be able to share this time with them. So take advantage of it and make a difference and be positive and make memories that'll last a lifetime. So in closing, I just want to say thank you again from the bottom of my heart for tuning in today. It's been fun recording this, and I know today was kind of a deeper, more introspective episode, but the next one will not necessarily be like that. I'm going to be having my friend Ronnie Brooks on just to talk about music, all things music. I'm going to be having my friend Kevin on to talk about his YouTube videos and what that looks like and the memories he's made. So I'm really looking forward to having some of my buddies on and getting to dive in a little further and hear their hearts and let them share that with you. So thank you again for tuning in. I hope you guys all just take something from today, even if it's one word I said. I hope something spoke to you. And just remember that, we don't know when this is going to be over. We truly, they've predicted multiple times and you hear multiple things, but we don't know. And so you can't control that, but what you can do is start with today. Thanks for listening, guys, and I'll talk to you next week.